Oh, I caught you sipping on something. What you sipping on over there?
Yes, sir. Some authentic ginger beer, Jamaican ginger beer.
Oh, okay. Non-alcoholic Jamaican ginger beer.
Yes. Yes,
Wow.
sir. Yes, sir.
That's got to be good. Ginger, anything with ginger, yeah, that's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
it's
So
strong.
how you feeling? How you feeling?
Hey, Doc, I feel absolutely amazing. I feel
Yeah.
absolutely spectacular. How about yourself? I know you've
Hey,
been
I'm,
on
I'm feeling. Hey, I'm feeling
vacation,
great.
traveling the world.
Yeah, I had a little vacation because remember we were gonna do the Doc and Bay show, but I know I couldn't get a real good quiet spot or anything to do it from. So, and besides, I was on vacation, so I felt that hey, but I did
Oh,
get some
yeah.
footage and stuff like that. So,
Did you
but
have a
yeah,
good
yeah,
time?
yeah. I had a great time. I had a great time, but I was looking forward to getting back so I could we could get on and get the show moving because it's a good topic that we're going to talk about tonight that I'm excited about.
Oh,
We
yeah.
say, well, yeah, because we all have experienced it. When is enough is enough? When do you say to someone or enough's enough? You know, because sometimes you have to cut people off. Because you don't want to be an enabler or whatever the reasons are. But when is enough? When do you say no? So
Mm-mm.
especially like if I look at someone like yourself, you young, um, you're successful, you're the CEO of your own company. You and your wife are very successful, a beautiful family. So I'm sure some of your relationships have had to change as your life has changed, and maybe some people that was part of your yesterday ain't going to be part of your tomorrow.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. And I know um, a man of your stature and all of the accomplishments that you've been through, um, the different fields of expertise that you have mastered and in your lifespan. I know of some people that you probably dealt with and no longer dealt with or deal with today. Right? I know
Yeah,
for me,
yeah,
it's it's
yeah.
um it's based upon a few different things, depending on the situation. And I know for
Right.
you, it's probably the same, right? Uh,
Yeah.
of course, we never want to any type of relationships to end total, but depending on the situation, that may happen too.
Yeah. Yeah. Because circumstances change, right? Like um, you may be going in a different direction than those you may have been, associated with earlier. Your direction may have changed. So, you know, they just can't go with you to the place you're going, and you can't go with them to the place they're going. So, but I, I mainly focus on like different relationships that have become somewhat well, the relationships in itself, you may have outgrown those relationships, or again, your interests may not be the same. Um, because there's some people that I dealt with, say, 15 years ago,
Hmm.
that our interests are not aligned today. So our association has been somewhat disconnected because our relationship was based around a business only.
Hmm.
And so it wasn't no personal at all. So when the business side of what we was doing came to an end, that relationship somewhat flatlined. And that was okay. But it's the ones that was personal and that you went a different direction, see? And you said, well, look, we don't have our interests are different. So and when you go to cut them off, they may talk about you, say a whole lot of things because they felt that hey, you felt you was too good to be dealing with them anymore. But all the time it don't even be like that. But I've seen people hang on to people when they shouldn't even hang on to them. They should have been let them go.
Hmm.
Some of them hang on to them because they hype gang. They hype them up and they yes men or whatever, and so they just hang on to them for that reason. Because a good hype man is hard to find, right? So they want a yes person, so they just hang on to people, right? But
Yeah.
I never felt the need to do that. So if our interests don't align, um, then we can go our separate ways in peace. It doesn't mean that one person bad or the other person bad. It just means that the red bird ain't gonna never hang out with the blue bird.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
true.
they ain't gonna hang
True.
out.
I know that looking back, while you was talking, I was thinking about all the relationships I've had in the past with individuals, um, and I don't have today currently. Most of those relationships, uh, not many of those relationships, ended because we had different interests.
Hmm.
I could probably count maybe one or two, maybe five at the most.
Hmm.
Um, but every other instance, it's always been a uh,
Okay,
um,
yeah.
principle, in a not a good way. Principles are different.
Okay.
Things that they have done or said that showed me that they wasn't my
Hmm.
friend from, or we wasn't really a
Hmm.
true relationship from the get-go. It was what I used to call commissionship. If it wasn't about the business,
Right.
then we wasn't no reason for us to talk. But in your instance, of course, from your past in the professional area, that's a regular thing. But in the area of expertise that I've known for majority of my adult life, it was I wouldn't say fake, but it was a manipulation of
Hmm.
friendship,
Oh yeah.
but it was really business. So if you wasn't doing business or creating production to create income, it really wasn't a friendship. Not for everybody, not for everybody, but for majority, right? Then you have things and characteristics that isn't of standings for yourself, that you would want to be connected to those people with those characteristics.
Right.
Thieves, liars, cheaters,
Right.
scam artists,
Right.
people that don't have the best interests, not even just in you, but in themselves.
Oh wow.
So,
Yeah.
but in those instances or those pairs, of
Hmm.
course, I used to, when I was quite younger, hold grudges. But I noticed something, Doc. The older you get, the less you care about things that don't matter.
Yeah.
And you're able to decipher things that actually matter from
Yeah.
things that don't matter. And I'm
Yeah.
starting to, the older I get, or the more mature I get, the more years that I'm on this planet
Right.
Earth and of the experience,
Yeah.
I'm starting to understand it. It gives you more of a peace of mind.
Right. Right. You
It's
don't want to waste no energy
Yeah.
on things that don't matter, right? It's
Even
as
though,
important.
you may think they matter at that particular
Yeah.
moment, but ultimately, the bigger picture, it really doesn't matter. It's a
It
speck.
doesn't. It doesn't. Sometimes, right? It used to be so hard for me to walk away from people when I know they wasn't good for me or good for what I was trying to do, and I knew it. And sometimes people try to make you feel guilty. Um, I've been very fortunate, and I've been blessed. It's like whatever I set out to accomplish, I accomplished it. I don't know. God just blessed me, and I got to give him all the credit. I don't know how I got to where I was at, other than just God blessed me. That created certain jealousies,
Hmm.
and because sometimes whatever I set out to do, I win at it, and those who ever hang around me, they become winners. That's just how it always worked. I'm a winner, and sometimes that's not arrogant. It's just favor from God, blessings from God. I just I don't know what I did to deserve it, but whatever I went after in life, I just accomplished it. Now I put in hard work, and I'm not going to diminish my effort either. Nobody went through college for me. I had to do it myself. Nobody got up and studied and put in work and effort I did to achieve some of my achievements. I had to do it for myself. But God put me in those positions for those opportunities. I didn't direct myself toward those opportunities. I just woke up one day and I was presented with this opportunity or just fell into it. I call that favor of God putting me in position to win. But in life, that creates certain jealousies from people. And in me, it would create a certain guilt because maybe they haven't achieved the level of success I had. And so it was hard for me to say no to them when they were asking me for certain things because, maybe I felt guilty. Why did I get this success and you didn't or something? But I had to learn in life not to diminish the work that I've done and maybe the favor that God put on my life. I can't feel bad for you. I can only feel great for me, you see. But I can't allow maybe your lack of accomplishments cause me to not enjoy my accomplishments. So I had to get into that mind space that yet I wanted everybody to exceed and maybe even have more success than me so I could stay in the shadows. I realized that my life wasn't meant to be in the shadows. And if that creates certain jealousies among certain people, then so be it. Because at the end of the day, you have to be who you called to be, and that may upset some people along the way, right? But hey,
Yeah,
you gotta stay true to you.
Doc, what do you say? Because I felt the same way, and it's even played the game because I didn't want to let the people go that was around, even though I knew in some instances that they wasn't right, but I saw value or saw the greater them that they didn't see in themselves or they didn't even portray out of themselves, but played the game of I don't know what's going on. I'm just gonna act like I don't know, right? Because I know this isn't who they are. I know in their heart this isn't who they are. I know I'm just gonna play dumb. What's the word I'm looking for? Not weak, but when someone just doesn't know, green, right? Lame, right? Play the game because you don't want to let them go, not because you're fearful of them going, but because you want them to win with you.
Right. That's it.
And
That's it.
you don't want to leave them behind because you know where you're going.
Right.
But you want them to go with you.
Right.
You try to say it in so many different ways that but you don't want to. You want to say the certain words to let them know but want them to tell you themselves what it is.
Right. And when that don't happen, it just don't happen, and you have to move on. I had to, I had to learn that the hard way because sometimes, hey, people will make you. They'll make you their ATM if you allow them to. You'll become their psychologists. They call you all their problems and load you up, and then they go on about their day and then left you with your soul feeling like they done loaded you up with a ton of bricks, and they go on about their day, got you solving their problems while they out creating more problems. So at some point you have to just say, hey, I got to cut you off. But you may get talked about. Sometimes within your own family, within your own blood, it may just come after you. And you just got to absorb that and just move on, but know what's best for you. And so it's, I had to cut some people off, and I should have cut them off a long time ago, honestly. But and it wasn't even compassion at that point. It was just me not knowing how to do it, or just didn't want the feeling that was going to come with after I did it. Although I knew there would be a relief, but that immediate feeling just don't feel good. You know, it just don't feel good. But now I'm at a space in life, and I'm so thankful that I'm here. And it took time to get here. Is that purpose means more than anything. Purpose. Me fulfilling the purpose that my life stands for. And if that means I have to move some people out of the way so that my purpose can be fulfilled, then that's what has to happen. Because friendships will make way for your purpose. Relationships want your purpose to make way for them. True friends will recognize
say
your
that one more
purpose and
time,
help
Doc.
you.
Say that one more time. Say that one more time.
No, I said that true friendships, true friends, they'll make way for your purpose. But relationships that you're in want your purpose to make way for them. So I never put relationships ahead of purpose, because friends will recognize purpose and help you fulfill purpose. That's when you know you found a true friend.
Wow.
When they connect with your purpose, and through your purpose, the two of you connect.
Wow. Do you think that in this instance, based off of what you just said, do you think that you are cutting people off, or they are cutting themselves off?
I don't think it's, I don't classify it right as a cutoff. Because there's not, you're not really, well, no, I don't want to say cut off, but I will say that you don't put any more energy until you see the change in them that you need to see if the two of you going to be able to flow in the same space. So there's always that possibility. But the cutoff is when they ain't no turn, they ain't no come back. Like in some relationships, the ending was so egregious that there ain't no coming back. Those are ones that say, I forgive, but I ain't gonna never forget.
Yeah.
You're never gonna deal with that person anymore, right? Because that person did something that was just so egregious that there is no amending of that relationship. So, but no, I don't like to cut people off if there's hope that we have some commonality for a purpose. But just to hold on to relationships, just to say, it's like you and I had a conversation with a guy, and I won't name no names because I won't name no names to protect the innocence. And you was
absolutely.
An innocent,
Absolutely.
But anyhow, we had a conversation, and this individual came to us to present an opportunity, right? And as the conversation was going on, I interjected, and you was right in flow with me, so we was kind of in tune. And so I asked this gentleman, I said, are we having this conversation because God sent you here, or God inspired you, or God had motivated you to contact us? Or are we having this conversation because you're looking for an opportunity? And his response was, he was looking for an opportunity. And I responded to him was that I was so glad he gave me that answer, because we wasn't looking for anybody that looking for an opportunity, because we for both feel that
Yeah.
in God, that's where the opportunities was at. But he saw us, he saw himself as being the opportunity.
Hmm.
And I was like, you're not the opportunity. We trying to present you, we make him present you an opportunity, but you are not the opportunity. You know?
Yeah. You
I didn't
know,
even know how you wanted to even deal with that base. So that's why I went on and sliced it up and got back on
well,
the
I'm
sticky.
glad that you dealt with it and was there to deal with it. I think, well, I know uh, where I'm personally at on a personal level and on a business level, where I'm currently at. Um, if a person doesn't put God first over everything, it's nothing. We probably don't have a lot in common.
We can't. We can't.
it's,
We
it's
can't.
it's not much. Not saying they're a bad person,
No.
right? Because that person may be watching, right?
No.
And that person knows the conversation, so they're going to be like, "Oh, they talking about,"
But
But
it
that
must be so
doesn't make them a
generalized.
bad
Nobody
person.
know who we're talking about.
Yeah. But that person may be
Yeah.
watching,
But I hope that person
and I
gets
want,
something from what we're telling
yeah,
them tonight again.
and I
Keep
know he
God
will.
first.
I know he will understand from what I'm going to say. If anyone ever asks that question, it should be a simple answer, because God is the reason we're all here. It's already
Right.
written. Your future's already written. So that was a very simple answer, but because of maybe a current situation, a scenario,
Right.
um, desperation, it could be a lot of different things. I don't want to assume.
Didn't need to.
They chose opportunity rather than God,
Right.
and because I believe it's an easier way to get out
Right.
of a conversation, easiest way to exit when you say
Mhm.
opportunity rather than saying God. It's an easier exit, because if you say, yeah, God
Absolutely.
sent me here and you are here, and then you choose to leave, what you gonna say? Well, God told me don't be here no more.
Right.
Well, if I say, yeah, I'm here for the opportunity, you can easily say, well, I thought it was opportunity, but
Right.
I don't think this is an opportunity.
No.
Right.
But he had to
So
understand our position, because you're talking about you want a position in leadership, but yet you being led by opportunity. If somebody else offer you a better opportunity, then you're gone.
peace. Quick,
Because
fast, and
we
in a
only want
hurry.
you here because God
We've
wants you
seen it
here.
many a times.
And so some relationships going to just dissipate because there's a separation in belief. It's because like there's relationships sometimes just fall apart for whatever the reasons. But in this case, anybody who's not connected to you in a way that spiritually you guys are connected, then those are hard relationships to hold up anyhow, because morally you guys may not be on the same page. Because if a person not putting God first, then it's hard to, from that position, it was very hard to say, how can you be in leadership? Because that means your morals could be compromised quite easily if somebody presents you with an opportunity. That your morals may get compromised. So no. We ain't looking to go down that path. But that person may not never contact you again. Would you be upset if that person never contacted you again?
Absolutely not. It doesn't matter.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because I was alive way before that person even came into my life and met him. That person wasn't born with me.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I know some people that was born together, twins, and they don't talk. So why would I be upset if someone that's not on the same principles, not speak anymore? It's okay. I'm gonna live, and I wish them well, and whatever they doing, so they can live well. Just hoping that they change to get the max amount of success that they're able to get, which is
But I
unlimited
think that
amounts.
bothers a lot of people though, babe. Well, they be concerned about, because I used to be concerned about what people may say after the fact, what they may say after the fact, they may go and talk to others in a certain way about me that didn't truly represent me. And so I used to be concerned about that because I was concerned about what people would think. I used to say, I ain't concerned about what people think, but honestly, I kind of was without wanting to reveal that I was, because nobody wants somebody to think bad about them. Come on, who wants somebody to think
Yeah.
bad about them? So you don't want people to go and say things bad about you, be they true or untrue. You don't want anybody saying bad about you unless you just seeking publicity. Then it doesn't matter whether it's good or bad.
Yeah, I used to feel the same way, Doc. I used
Yeah.
to feel the same way. And then once it started happening, it made me stronger not to care about it.
But you know what really changed after what changes over time? Is that when you lay such a wide footprint, it defines who you are. Your works start to speaking for you. And anybody else who go out there and say anything else, when people look at your works over the years, your work speaks so loudly of who you are. Because your works tell who you are. Actions speak louder than people words. Action. So people, you have enough actions out there where people can go back and look at a collection of your actions to determine who you are. And then at that point, it doesn't matter what people say, because what people say doesn't represent who you have been over the years. So early on, I didn't have a long enough track record to defend what some people may say. But now, no matter what nobody say, they go look at my track record. They say, well, they don't line up with who you say.
Go look at my history. Go look at the paperwork. You say, go look at the paperwork,
right.
Doc.
So that makes it easy for you, not to be so concerned about what others may say or may think. Because honestly, my circle is so little, I can hardly fit in it myself. I have a small
what
circle,
happened?
though.
What happened, Doc?
I mean,
have you ever been in a situation?
I have a lot of associates. I have a lot of people that call me a great friend. Honestly, I have a lot of people that call me a great friend, and I have a lot of people that are great friends. Don't get me wrong. I mean, a lot of people. A lot of them started out as clients that have become great friends. But in our relationships are just that. We may go months and months and don't speak to each other, but when we do, it's just like, the connection is there, the energy is good. But the people that I deal with on a day-to-day basis, that's a very small circle. And you in that circle now, whereas 2 years ago, I had a different circle. But now, and those that was in that circle back then, they're not offended that my circle or my point of interest has changed, because they were great friends, so they aligned themselves with my purpose. But those that just were relationships, now they because they can't get the time or whatever from me that they was getting before, they don't have much to say anymore. See? So that's how you can separate relationships from friendships. Because in the beginning, they all look the same.
So what do you say? Because I know you probably have some friendships, like good friendships, that someone call you up that you probably haven't spoke to in years.
Yeah.
Right. But they'll call you up out of the blue. And it's like y'all never lost touch. It's like y'all have always been speaking. So those are good friendships. Right. Great friendships.
Yes.
But what do you say how a person can get past the assumption, just because I haven't spoke to that person in so long, or they haven't called me, or I haven't called them, we are enemies? They don't like me no more. They cut me off. There's the human brain will go wild on you.
Yeah.
You will start assuming things in your mind, make up a whole story and believe it, and never talk to the person that you made the story up about.
Hey,
how do a person get past
Stop talking about me like that.
Yeah.
Because that happened to me though. And one time, and this was recent. And I'm a very mature person, and it happened to me recently because I text someone, and it was about a situation that that we had to handle, and I didn't hear back from him for about 4 days. And I'm thinking, I said, okay, that's the way this is going to be. And in my mind, I was going through these different scenarios of why this person hadn't texted me back, and we needed to close out some things. but the person was out of the country. I didn't know he was out of the country. So you have to really guard your mind because your your mind just go to start, so it can happen to any of us anytime. So that's why I try not to assume, and I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt because the mind, the mind can play tricks on you. Right?
Yes, sir. It
The
happens
mind
on
can create an
it
enemy out of
happens
a
on social
friend.
media too. It happens
Huh?
all the time on social media.
Oh,
Somebody,
really?
somebody, somebody, had a dream about somebody foot not fitting in their shoe and hanging out their shoe, and they say they just refer to it. They don't tell everybody it was just a dream they had, but they refer to it. And the first person that shoe don't fit, in this case, fit. They
Right.
they thinking they man, oh, they talking about me. That
Okay.
person
Yeah.
they probably never met that
The
person, never
guilty
seen
mind.
that person, but they just go off and say, oh, I don't like him. They talked about my foot
The
hanging
guilty
out my
mind. Huh?
shoe.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
so it happened. The mind it's a beautiful thing. That's a
But
good
I think
movie.
people that you have that type of friendship with, and even if you haven't spoken to them in months and months, when y'all do communicate, it's still the same. You don't the energy haven't changed since the last time you talked because your friendship not based around you have. If the only way you can keep a friendship together, you got to talk every day. That friendship requires too much maintenance. You know,
Yeah.
I like low maintenance friends, right? I don't like that high maintenance because I'm not a high maintenance. I try to be real low maintenance, and then I try not to put my issues and challenges and on anybody else because we all do. But you do need to have somebody that you can bounce stuff off. But I have a spouse, so but I don't try to weigh people down with my problems, and then we all face challenges from time to time. Everybody do. We all human. Um, but I try to avoid people that are toxic, that are high maintenance. That every time something come up, they call you like you the only number they got. Right? You don't got to, hey, dude, you don't have nobody else's number but mine. But they always going to call you, and then they stress you out with if you're a stressful person. I don't let much stress me, so I kind of sidestep that. But yeah, but they will stress you out if you allow them. But then when you get to the point where say, hey, that's enough. Hey, this relationship ain't no more dragging me down. I'm cutting you off and I'm moving on. But then you become the bad person. Then they're the posters out on social media. There are people looking at you crazy if you go to the family picnic, or when you come to work, the co-workers looking at you all crazy. So in any environment you go in that this person once was in, they're gonna get there ahead of you and tell their story first. And this is it's sad, but that it happens so many times where people go ahead of you and they paint a picture of you because not going to deal with them anymore because of whatever the reason is. You don't want to deal with them no more, so they're going to try to paint you out as being a bad person. So I try. So
Yeah.
I try to
I done
stay away
seen
from people
that.
like that, man.
I done seen that happen in business over and over and over again.
Oh, yeah,
You separate in business.
yeah,
It could be just for the reason of you wanting to do something else, do something different,
right,
or it could be for the reason you found out that this wasn't the place for you because of business reasons or
yeah,
even bad things, right? And the
right,
first thing, if you have any type of influence, the first thing they do, those people that you left, and this is in network marketing or in business in general, the first thing they do is try to paint you out to be a negative person or a bad person or a liar, a cheater. But what they tend to forget about is just last week and prior months and years before that, you've been their friend, you've traveled with them, you talk greatly about them. They was the best thing smoking, right?
right,
You should go listen to them. They have this, they have that, they done that. Now you changing your story, you're changing the tune up, trying to make them look bad, but ultimately it makes you look bad because if you saying all this bad stuff, how long you been knowing this person been bad like this? This wasn't a surprise for you.
right. And you still hanging with them, huh?
Yeah, you know
Right,
all of this, and you still been dealing with this person,
right. And you've been
right?
knowing this all along.
Yeah, yeah. It's like you've been knowing this. You've been knowing this all along. Like it's been many situations like that I've witnessed. And people have done this to me, said crazy things about me. Now, for me, I know what I would do, but for your advice, if you was in a business and you left a business and people talk bad about you, do you attack back to defend yourself? Or do you just let it blow off like it never happened anyway? Which one would you say?
Me personally, um, in that case, one of me want to just, one side of me want to just, clap back. But then the other side is I ain't got to waste no energy on that because, I just have to move on. Because what's been said already can be said, so you have to move on. No, I never try and go back and refute what someone says because you can go just back and forth, and those that are with that person are going to believe that person. Those that are with you are going to believe you. You're not going to persuade those that are with that person. And those that are already with you, you don't need to persuade them. So why even talk about it? Why even worry about it?
Yeah, I think that's profound. I think that's profound, Doc, because with you saying that, we have a lot of conversations.
Yeah.
And I notice certain great attributes that you have and the things you say makes me even think further into what you're saying. And based on what you said, I think that the opposite side of that flows into social media, and social media ignites or magnifies the arguments of personal or business issues, right, and takes it to another realm, which falls upon children, the next generation. Because if you disagree with a young child, now I consider 21, 22 a child. I know they're grown, but I still consider that a child, a young adult. They will go crazy on you. They'll shoot you just because you disagree with them. It's crazy out here today, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's from everybody feeling like they have to defend themselves. Why would you have to defend yourself from something that isn't true? Like it is true, or people they're saying it to can affect you and your mission and your goal and your vision.
Yeah. Depends on the individual. It's hard for me to try to defend something, but and then all you get an understanding. Try to understand why a person is saying something or have a certain mindset towards you. Is it something that your actions are causing them to have a certain opinion of you or something like that? And that's why I mentioned earlier about the gentleman that we spoke to, because I don't think he's going to call you again, maybe not. And I know he's certainly not going to call me, but I want him to hear this because I didn't think he left with an understanding. It's not that his skill sets was diminished in any way. I value his skill sets and I value him as a man. But I wanted the answer for him to be that he was here because God sent him, not because he came for an opportunity. So my hope is that he listened to the night so he have an understanding of why we ended the call the way we did. So that he won't have to assume that we did that for any other reason.
Yeah, out of love. It was simply out of love.
Your skill sets are good, but if you chasing opportunities, you chasing the wrong thing. We seeking God, but you seeking opportunities. In God, there are all the opportunities. And that's what that's the only thing I'm trying to say to him. You seeking the wrong thing right now for us.
Yeah.
You seeking the wrong thing. You seeking the opportunity. But if you're looking for God, in him there are opportunities, and in those opportunities may be hidden wealth. We don't know. But right now, you're just not looking for what we're looking for. We're not looking for the same thing. So
yeah.
But hopefully
that's
this conversation.
That's for anyone. That ain't just for him. That's for anyone.
That even for me.
Even for me. That's for anyone.
Hey, nobody's exempt for that, right?
Yeah, I will never deny God. I don't care what I'm doing. I will never deny God ever.
God is the opportunity. If we get such an opportunity to have the pleasure of serving God, that is the opportunity, right?
Yeah,
So, so
absolutely.
uh,
Absolutely.
hey, but we ain't
Absolutely.
trying to make this no spiritual show. But
Yeah,
hey,
yeah, yeah,
God is
yeah,
the
yeah.
center of everything.
But
So hey, yeah, I hope it don't
that's a
offend
good
nobody,
that's a
but
good
I ain't
point.
gonna. Hey,
But
but
Doc,
I'm
that's
not
a
gonna
good
try to
point.
act
That's a
like
way
God ain't the center of
that's
our
terms of
lives just
separation.
because we may offend somebody that's on here that's not spiritual. And I hope that's not the case. But I ain't gonna never be ashamed of talking about God, no matter what setting
Yeah.
I'm in. So
But that's lines of separation, Doc.
it has been.
It doesn't matter what religion, doesn't
Right.
matter what you call God.
Nah, it
It
ain't nothing to
just,
do with
hey, I believe in God, a
no.
higher being, something bigger
Yeah,
than all of us.
yeah. So you got to be like somebody that said alignment is key. Yeah, you got to be aligned with those that you're associated with, and it has to start with their level of belief. And it doesn't matter what faith you are or what religion. That doesn't matter to me. As long as we both acknowledge that there is a God and that we
Mhm.
both love Him, because then I know that your morals, that you have a conscience, that there are certain things that you may not do unless there's just extreme circumstances like survival that force you to do it. But outside of that, you just not going to have loose morals. So
Hmm.
from there, we can fabricate the beginning of some type of business relationship or whatever, because at least I know that we both have something that we stand on, and that is that the spirituality that exists between us, you know. And from there
Yeah.
you can build out. But if we don't even agree on that, ain't nothing else even to talk about here. Honestly enough.
Do you think that's the main reason why people have a lot of issues is because maybe they need to get closer to God. Maybe they need to start doing some soul searching and ask themselves, have some type of conscience that what I'm doing, is it right? Would God approve of
I don't know. I just have to focus on me on that side, because
it?
I'm bad
That
enough
was a tough
myself.
question,
I
right?
need all the help I can get over here.
That was a tough question, that Doc.
I need all the God I can get for myself. So I ain't trying to judge nobody else on that side. Trust
But
me, I can't.
I believe that may be an issue.
But
That may
honestly,
be, that
love,
just
I
may
think
be.
the absence of love has caused the world to get in a wreck. The absence of love, where people don't trust each other no more. Relationships, I mean, relationships are strained all around the world. People don't trust what each other say. And it's because of the absence of love. It's because of the absence of God. It's because of the absence of spirituality. Now, I strongly believe that. But as far as from an individual perspective, I think each individual has to search out their own spiritual path that bring them peace, and bring them to a level of faith where they are secure in who they are and where their soul will eternally rest. So I
Yeah.
don't want to, be the
Yeah.
author and
I
finisher
would
of
say
that.
the trust part, I believe that um the trust part is a two-edged sword,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because I can trust you to tell you certain things I wouldn't want someone else to know, but then you can trust someone else to share that same information and not want them to share it with anyone else. Right? You can that trust part gets entangled, but it's not the trust that you can share information, it's the trust that you can keep the information to yourself.
Yeah, but and I don't like to use the word but, so
Yep.
but
On the other side.
yeah, it's like, but and there I go again using but. A grammar teacher, professor, give me read that word but. Hey, it's part of my culture. We use but, man, please. Part of the culture. But in any case, it's I just like the way, if we put people in the right position to understand each other more, I feel we get a lot more accomplished. But we have so many, there's so many differences. There's so many little divides now. The least little thing. The sun is too bright. No, it's not bright enough. And then all of a sudden, we know we got an argument. We got a division. So, our host that said is 8:45. We're
Yeah.
running short on time, Bay. How would you like to close this hour? I don't want to go into anything much deeper, but
Well, well, I would say um Be understanding, be forgiving.
Yeah. Yeah.
Know when you need to step away without any reservations, without any hesitations.
Yeah.
Don't hold grudges. Still love in that separation.
Love,
Still have
love,
love for the
love.
people you may have separated from, no matter the
Yeah.
situation, no matter if you know they did you wrong. Just have love for them and keep moving, because that's nothing you should hold in your heart, in your mind, as you separate and move on your path while they move on their path. You shouldn't even be thinking about that person that's not walking side by side with you. You should be
Right.
focused on a mission. And I believe that, Doc, if everyone followed, had a vision, had a mission, had the vision, had morals, had the
Right.
rules,
Right.
had the
Right.
marching orders,
Right.
it would be total harmony.
Right.
If
Right.
everyone didn't have their imagination run wild on them with assumptions,
True. True.
which those assumptions of cause is the cause of negative reactions or
Yeah.
actions or words. Uh, the world would be a better place because it'll be filled with love.
Yeah.
It'll be filled with love.
Yeah.
I know I haven't always thought like this, in which I'm speaking today. I have thought the total opposite, in which
Me
I
too.
just spoke.
Yeah.
Being in the Marine Corps, Doc, you being former Army man
Yeah.
of many skill sets, um, we are trained for defense
Yeah.
as well as offense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anything that we sniff out to be a danger
Right.
will
Right.
be eliminated
Yeah. Yeah.
quickly, because it will disturb the mission in which we're on.
Right. Right. Right.
But it is a way to do it peacefully
Yeah.
and with love.
Like we were talking about today, diplomacy.
Diplomacy. Yes.
Diplomacy.
Yes. Yes.
Diplomacy. Yeah, that's true.
Yes. So I would say always move with love, with great
Love,
diplomacy.
love, love, and you know, I think a lot of a lot of relationships could have been saved if there was just an understanding. You know, a lot of relationships fall apart because of a lack of understanding that, you don't have to always agree. You don't always have to have the same aligned purposes, but you have to have commonality in your morals. Morals will keep relationships together because, morals help you operate more in love and understanding. Um, I can accept your strength, and I can even sympathize with your weakness, but have the same courtesy for mine. Because in our weaknesses is the areas in which we make the mistakes, and nobody is perfect, and we all make mistakes. And we're never all going to be strong. But some people judge you on your mistakes and never judge you on your successes. So put yourself in a position around people who edify you and help uplift you and help align with your purpose, and not those who just want a relationship from you that align with their purpose only and become very selfish when you don't make your life all about their life. They get very selfish. So, um, and those are the type of relationships that I have been fortunate to shed off of me over the years. So, but I know our host said we running out of time. It's 8:50. Hopefully the audience got something. I'm sure a lot of the audience have had relationships that maybe even have some that's kind of toxic and that you all are holding on to for whatever reason. You may even feel guilty if you don't, support their habit anymore, or they call you for money. They ain't gonna never pay you back, but you still do it anyhow. You may feel But that's because you in a position to do it. That don't mean you have to feel guilty about not doing it. Sometimes the word in your vocabulary can always be no. Hey, you don't have to always say yes. You don't always have to say yes. And if that causes a relationship to come to an end, so be it. Then if that's all, the relationship was built around what you could do for them when they needed you to do it for them, then it wasn't a friendship anyhow. It just was a relationship. And relationships comes and goes. Friendships remain forever. That's why God is our friend. Man,
Yes, sir.
Man, you never know. So,
You
well,
just
babe, I'm gonna
you
pass
gave me
it
my
off to you,
post.
brother.
You gave me my post.
Oh,
You
your
gave me my
post?
post. Yep,
Yeah, you're a social media king, babe. I got to give it to you.
Oh,
But
hey,
hey,
Doc, I'm not. Hey, Doc, I need more followers to be the king of social media. I'm okay.
hey,
I do
I
decent.
want to thank everybody for the night, though, for you guys coming on tonight, though, and just spending some time on here with us. We're trying to bring some topics that we feel that's right what you guys need to talk about. That's like we need to talk about because it's real stuff. We want to think big, and in part of being big and thinking big, you got to get people from around you that think small. So, and they have nothing to do with pride. They have nothing to do with ego. It have all to do with your purpose. And don't be afraid to protect your purpose from those who are there to harm it or hurt it. Mr. Bay.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's been an honor and pleasure for
Yes,
this
sir.
evening. We'll see you
Yes,
all
sir.
not next week, but the following week. We will see
Yes.
you all back, and we will make sure, like Doc said, the topic is right on time. Whatever God tell us, the topic will be.
That's
Right.
what we're talking
The
about.
post doc edification means nothing with words if the action doesn't match. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So
Yes, sir.
with that said, hey, y'all have a great rest of the night. Doc, we've all heard the saying, it's a small world, but it becomes even smaller when you think big. So put a smile on someone's face, starting with your own. And as always, peace, love, and freedom.
Yes.